Welcome to It All Boils Down to This, the podcast where father and son take the kitchen table arguments and heated discussions from their home directly to yours. Jim and Jack Boyle will explore the world as only they can. We might even let a few guests join the fun. So sit back, choose a side, watch the water temperature rise, and enjoy stimulating generational conversation about sports and life. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of It All Boils Down to This. I'm your host, Jim Boyle. With me is my co-host, Jack Boyle, and we'll be looking at the way we talk about things around the house with regards to sports. So welcome, Jack, and like I said, it's good to start this podcast.
It's good to be here. It's my second one, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about Tommy today. We can have our own little fun discussion.
I do have to get on with Tommy at some point with whatever podcast that's called.
That's the We've Seen Enough podcast.
But yeah, we'll that'll come someday.
So as we get rolling with this podcast, I'd like to get some of our good friends, Kevin, Chris, Justin, Riley.
I probably should have let Kevin know about this again. He'll probably be mad.
He's in Aruba, I thought.
That's a good point. Yeah,
he is. So that's what we're going to try to do again, is just to go through where we are, what we see every week or every other week, how life's treating us and what's going on. And Jack is a avid golfer. Jack, you broke 80 for the first time last week?
Oh, yeah. I shot a 77, first time breaking 80 in my life, and then I proceeded to sprain my foot pretty badly and haven't been able to golf since. So.
And where'd you shoot the 77?
At a course called Overlook Golf Club up in Hollis, New Hampshire, about 40 minutes from here. Got a great after 3 p.m. Sunday and Saturday rate, about $40 to play 18 holes.
$40 play, and you play Overlook a lot?
Overlook, yeah, we go there. We have a league that plays there pretty much every Sunday. I think they're playing this weekend, but I won't be there. It's tough on having the number one golfer in the league there this weekend. They're going to struggle without me.
So that's basically like a Wilmington type of league, correct?
Yeah, a bunch of just Wilmington kids who can barely break 100. And then there's me and a couple other kids who shoot some good scores and have some good matches. But it is kind of entertaining when you have two kids who shoot 110s playing each other and everyone's betting money on them. So I don't know if I should have said that.
I don't know.
Betting's legal.
We're allowed to talk about that betting. So that's a great thing.
I don't think they're going to come take down our league.
Oh, that's good. So you've golfed for how long? You been golfer?
I don't know. I didn't start as early as some people. I probably started at some time in middle school when I really started getting out and playing more. But 15 years, I guess. How about you?
Me?
Yeah,
Let's see. I probably started when I was about 16. So 45 years.
It's a long time.
I got 30 every. And you know what? I'm still not ever going to be better than you are.
I've still probably played more rounds than you. How many rounds have you played in the past 20 years? Like 30?
30. If I'm lucky. Depends. Now, I don't know. I like to play. I'm just not any good at it anymore. Although I can get better. Since I got hurt, I think I'm a much better player. So you also then played high school for 4 years?
Yep.
And Coach Lynch?
Yeah, we had a pretty legendary coach. We didn't win much. We actually did make the state tournament our senior year. And that was, 5-6 years ago, and they have not won a match since. So not a lot of talent for golf here in Wilmington, which is kind of surprising because a lot of wealthy people moving into town, a lot of wealthy kids coming through the school systems, and you'd expect to find more maybe country club golf kids. But
yeah, I think the problem here is we don't have a course in town either.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Your
parent say they have say your parent has a membership at Meadowbrook or at a private course around here, you play there all the time. It doesn't matter if there's no course in the town.
I think it matters to the extent that there's no. And you've been looking around in the general area for a practice course. We don't really have anything like that.
Yeah, but then why is Winchester so good at golf? They don't have a course besides Winchester Country Club, which I'm sure not many.
Well, because I would bet you the kids who go to Winchester High School are probably have more of an opportunity to be members of Winchester Country Club than any kid in this town has members of the country. I would say if we went through every high school kid in town right now, we might be lucky to have one who's maybe at Meadowbrook, and we do. That's the one we have at Meadowbrook, Owen Mitchell and his sister.
Yep.
Two, his sister. So that's what I think. I think it's, plus we just have a weird sports thing going on here anyway right now in town. So that's a story for another day. But I talk golf because that's one of the things we're going to deal with today, talking about LIV and talking about the greatest the golfers. And just to give people a quick background, we're going to talk just basic issues, and then we're going to talk about generational topic, which is what's it like for Jack versus what it was like for me when I was Jack's age and growing up. Then we're going to do the 7 wonders of whatever. We did that on the show, the show that I do with Tommy that Jack volunteered to do. We did the college football stadiums. Then I'm going to give Jack a few minutes to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything. So like he did last time, what was your worst loss and what do you feel? Something to that effect, so he'll be able to do that. So Jack, let's start with one thing I want to go with is you and your friends here in town, big international soccer fans. And I know Premier League's opening up this week. What can the Premier League fans look for, especially either with your favorite team or whatever?
This season, I would expect more of the same, in all honesty, for Premier League fans. I think we already know, maybe Arsenal can push them, but we already know Man City's going to win the title in the 38-game season. Even if maybe the first 15 games you might not think it, they'll go on a run and win it at some point. I do think I'm a big Manchester United fan. I think we're going to have a very consistent year. I think we're going to easily, kind of like we did last year, easily finish in the top 4. Hopefully, now that we're back in the Champions League, hopefully you can make a little bit of a run in that and try and get a trophy somewhere. But for the Premier League, I don't see anyone getting near Man City, even though Arsenal did make some good additions to their squad. And Kevin, my friend Kevin, would tell you that maybe they can stay with them when they play each other, even though they can't. I don't think anyone's catching Man City, and I think Man City will comfortably win the league again this year.
So just for our listeners who don't understand, which is like me, so there are a number of trophies that can be won, and the biggest one to win is the Champions League. Or
Yes,
the
correct.
Premier League.
I guess I would say at this point the Premier League is harder to win than the Champions League right now.
Okay, so the Premier League, the Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. Am I missing one?
No, you got
Those are the 4 big ones.
To simply put, you play elite. You play against. You have however many teams in your league in your country. You play every team in your league, which is just in your country. You play every team twice. So there are 20 teams in the Premier League. You play every team twice. There are 38 games. You get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss. Whoever has the most points from those 38 games wins the Premier League title. Now, there's also an FA Cup, which is the Football Association Cup, which includes all of the teams in the Football Association of England, which is not just the top division, it's the lower divisions and everything. And that is a single elimination tournament. There, I think, 6. So the top teams come in the third round. You got to win 6 games. I think if you're the lower, there are a total of 8 rounds in that single elimination, and then the final of that's played at Wembley, so you can win that cup. That's separate from the league. Then there's also a thing based on where you finish in your league table called the Champions League. There's also a league below it, the Europa League, which is where you get to play in a European competition against other teams from other leagues in Europe. So it brings all the teams in Europe together. And there's a group stage, which is basically like the World Cup, except it's double. You play each team twice, groups of 4, 6 games. Goes to a round of 16. The top 2 teams from each group make the round of 16, and that is they play 2 home and away, and the aggregate of the score winner goes to that. And then the final, you get to the final, and that's a single elimination game, and whoever wins that's the champions of Europe. So you can win the 3 trophies. You can win your European trophy, you can win your domestic league, and you can win your domestic cup.
So that's considered the treble.
It's a long explanation.
Treble. Yes. That's good, though.
Yeah,
so
that would be considered the treble, which Man City won last year to become the second English team to ever win all 3 of those in one season.
Let me guess, the only other team was Man U.
Yes.
You root for.
That would be
so
correct.
in reality, it's a club world until there is the World Cup.
Which would be international, yeah.
Okay.
But
So
there's also World Cup. They play Euro. There's an African competition every 4 years. There's a European competition every 4 years. There's a South American competition every 4. Or actually, it's South and North American competition every 4 years for international soccer, and that's played in the off season. So really, these soccer players don't get much of a break.
And I was going to talk about the Women's World Cup because we just finished it, but we talk about the club aspect of the way soccer or football is so popular in Europe and around the world. And we just had maybe the greatest player of all time sign here with the MLS, Major League Soccer in Miami, Messi. Is that something that might change the, what's the word I'm looking for, just the focus, or people start to watch the MLS, or do they have to bring more players in? And who would be the next player you would bring in to raise the profile?
I don't think the MLS has anything to do with that. I'll be honest. Like I don't think you bring in players. They're doing a very good job here in America promoting the Premier League. So all the good players in the Premier League. I don't think some kid's gonna be like, "Ooh, I want to be a soccer player because the MLS is so cool." To get people hooked on soccer and to change soccer is to get more Americans in Europe playing in Europe. Pulisic just moved to AC Milan in the Italian league. You got players all over Europe playing. That would be the way to do it. It doesn't matter who comes to the MLS. The MLS, it's cool. It's fun seeing Messi play. He's way better than everybody else right now still. Should still be in Europe. Barcelona couldn't afford them because they're run horribly.
But the question I have, I hate to interrupt your long speech, but Messi is about the eyeballs. About it's the fifth sport in America.
Yeah, but I don't think that matters.
Okay, you don't think it's going to drive the needle enough to make it like the fourth, like a takeover for hockey or basketball?
No.
Okay.
Basketball, not even close.
That's true. Because
Basketball's number 2. It would be baseball. It would overtake.
Right.
If you were to rank the American sports, basketball would be number 2.
So who would you say?
I would also say golf is probably higher than soccer in this country at this point.
That's probably true. Who would you pick if you're going to bring one player in from anywhere, not named the crazy Ronaldo who we got to see play? Who would you pick?
Well, if I could pick one player, I'd pick Mbappe because he's the best player in the world. But if we're going to be realistic, there is a realistic chance that an MLS team could somehow get Neymar because he's going to leave PSG, and just his attitude for a top European club at this point is kind of tired and grown old. And when he's 30 years old, it's maybe not worth putting up with anymore. You know, he's injured a lot, dives around a lot, doesn't listen to his managers, does whatever he wants. But if the MLS has a chance to bring him in, he might be a player who could really help with the eyeballs. But again, like I said, I don't think the MLS is going to make that much an impact on the American youth and the soccer youth. But he would be the player I would like to see play in the MLS
Neymar.
because he would he would take the piss out of everybody in that league.
So the question, it's really just a matter of eyeballs, growing the sport, being popular, and just so our fans out there, PSG stands for Paris Saint-Germain, which is a team that is in the French league.
Yes, they are in Paris.
Okay, and so there's different leagues in different countries, which you talked about earlier, so that makes some sense. So transitioning that to our good friends, the U.S. women's national team, and their complete belly flop, we'll call it, over the last week. And whether it was coaching, whether it was playing, I know you had some really big issues going in. And the women have always been, 1 or 2 in the world, like forever. And a lot of it has to do with Title IX here in the U.S. and women got more opportunity to play. The world. Is the world catching up, or is this just a poorly put together team, a poorly coached team?
It was probably a poorly coached team. I was wrong about it being a poorly put together team once I watched them play more. I thought, why is Alex Morgan still playing? She's old. They're saying the best player is playing out of position to accommodate for her. Watching her play in the game, they lost to Sweden, right? That was who they lost to. Watching her play in that game, definitely should have been on. She definitely should have been on the team. So maybe the thing that I say, they couldn't score goals, right? Simply
That's
put,
true.
The first game they played Vietnam, they were expected to win 10-0. I don't even remember the last World Cup. They won the first game like 9-0, and they were doing all the celebrations when they were up 9-0, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. But they were supposed to beat Vietnam like 9-0, and they won 3-0, and red flags then. Next game, I think it was the 1-1 versus the Netherlands, and then it was 1-1 versus Portugal.
Was it 0? I thought it was 0-0 Portugal.
You're right. It was 0-0 Portugal.
They scored like one goal in like 248 minutes.
Yeah, they scored one goal against a real team because Vietnam wasn't really
real team.
They weren't. Come on, they were supposed to win 10-0. So I don't think. I still don't think the world's caught up to them because the problem with the U.S. team and why it looks, their expectation is if you don't win the World Cup,
right.
It's like Brazil. It's like if you don't win the World Cup, so when you lose in the round of 16, it looks really bad. But the team they did lose to was the third-ranked team in the world.
Right.
If you watch that game, the U.S. they just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. The U.S. had better chances, more of the ball, a lot more shots. Sweden they really didn't come close to scoring a goal. And that's the third-ranked team in the world. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sweden went on and won that World Cup. So it's a tough situation that they're in with the expectations they've set for themselves. It is a disappointment, but I still don't think the world's caught up to them, like you might say.
Okay, and also, again, I think Sweden's playing Japan, which is also another highly ranked team in the next round. Just the way the tournament gets set up is you never know. Once you get to that knockout round, anything can happen. And I think my biggest pet peeve and you know this because I bitch about this at home all the time, is deciding a champion via penalty kick, which is something that happens very unusually in the regular part of the game, and they decide on penalty kicks, and the American women, I think, missed 3 straight penalty kicks. And then the goalie actually scored a goal in a penalty kick. So again, we've talked about that. I just don't think that's the way to solve or to move on between Sweden and the U.S. because the U.S. could have outplayed Sweden for 120 minutes. Well, and it didn't put the because of a hot goalie or whatever it was. I have a big issue with, I'd love to see the golden goal because I love to see him. You would have to coach differently early. Maybe change the rule where after 120 minutes you can sub somebody back in, something like that. What's your opinion on that?
I do agree. I hate I hate games being decided on penalties, but that specific game, Sweden versus the USA, it wasn't like Sweden was just packing it in, taking it to penalties. The USA, they could. I know I said they dominated the game, and this is gonna be like this is gonna totally make it look like they didn't dominate the game. They could have kept play. They could have done goal and goal, and neither of those teams were going to score. They could have kept going and going and going. I know the U.S. had more of the ball and the better chances and all that, but it didn't. No one looked like they were to score a goal. That game, I was fine with that going to penalties. A good example, if you watch the Men's World Cup final, if you do golden goal there, the World Cup ends with Messi scoring basically a walk-off winning goal if you play golden goal, because they both scored in extra time and then went to penalties. The first goal would have been Messi would have scored a goal to end the World Cup. That would have been a great way.
Which is the way I agree with you. That would have been awesome. Think about that. The pressure on them to compete and win. My other second, and before we move off of the soccer, my other pet peeve soccer is the extra time, and that's changing now. I think in the Premier League, some things. Who was Klopp? Somebody's not.
They screwed it up. They screwed. You're not gonna like this. What they're doing in the Premier League is they're doing it like they did the Men's World Cup. So it's gonna be you're gonna have games go into the 100th minute. They're gonna be in the second half extra time is gonna be plus 10 minutes.
Okay, and that's
because they're trying to get rid of because the study came out that the average time that the ball was in play in the Premier League last year was like 56 or 57 minutes. So they wanna try and slim that down, but the players play enough anyways, and that goes back to the penalty point and why I've started to come around on penalties is the players play too much anyways already. So
okay, that makes sense.
If you make them play a 180-minute game, it's just not safe.
Right, and they're playing like 3 times a week.
Yeah,
and then World Cup is compressed into a month to get in like 14 games. That makes sense. I just don't. It'd be great for the win to be, like you said, when Messi scored that goal against France. That would have been it. And then France comes back and scores before the 120th minute. Now we go to penalties. And I remember watching a game with you. I don't know what it was. Man, you went to 11 penalty kicks, and the goalie had a kick, and he missed. Yep. And it's just amazing that in that instance we went to 10 kicks before we decided the winner, which is phenomenal. It's tense. It's exciting. But I don't know if that's the way to win. But that's the soccer and the girls. We talked about that point. But one of the things that in America that I think has really helped our female athletes is Title IX, which allowed for equal participation and equal money for sports at the collegiate level, and it's really gave women an opportunity to get better and better. But things at the college world are changing this week. As one thing to touch on is the major conference realignment in athletics. We got Cal and Stanford trying to get into the ACC, which is like a 3,000-mile trip. We've got Oregon could have to play Rutgers, which would be a long trip. So we've really narrowed it down. The Pac-12 is gone, or Pac-10, or whatever we want to call them, are gone. How do you see all this working out? And do you like it? Do you care? Or maybe you don't even care. Maybe you don't care about 1 or 2 teams. But where do you see this working out, Jack?
I don't care, A. B, I saw a good point somebody made that, so you make the travel point. In basketball, you're playing twice a week. College, it's tough to travel. Football, you can travel. You can go, BC can play at, what would it be? No, not the ACC. Rutgers can play at Oregon, or is it, did Washington
Oregon.
come in?
Washington, too. Washington would be further than Oregon.
So
right?
Rutgers can go play at Washington, and they can, as student athletes, they can do that. So what I just think eventually, why don't just like the Power 5 schools, why don't they just all break away and do their own conference?
That I think eventually is going to happen.
So the Power 5 schools play,
right,
and they play for their own national championship, and then the group of 5 teams, the group of 5 teams play for their separate national championship. And obviously, you keep Auburn still plays Alabama every year, and Ohio State still plays Michigan. But it's a group of 60. I think it's about 64 teams.
That's what
in
the goal
one conference, and your schedule's pretty different every year.
Well, what do you do with basketball then?
Oh, basketball would have to be. That would be an only football thing. It would be an only football thing, and then you'd have to do everything else different for sports.
It's hard.
That's going to happen though, because football.
I know it's going to happen.
There's
but
so much more
right.
money in football than basketball, and track and field, and baseball, and hockey.
There's absolutely no money in anything but football and basketball anyway.
Correct.
And I think the women's sports will pay the price, and the Olympic sports will pay the price for this happening. Stanford, like one of the greatest successful athletic programs ever in the country.
What's that trophy they give out every year? They give out.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, but it's like it
combines. They win it.
It combines all your athletics. Stanford wins that like every year.
Correct. And then you have Cal and Oregon State and Washington State are done. But again, what does it mean for? And we're both Temple fans. And we talk and eat and breathe Temple. what does it really mean for teams like Temple and Syracuse and BC when all this comes to play? Where do teams like that end up, and are they just fodder for the bigger schools?
They've always been fodder for the bigger schools, really. So I don't know. You tell me. I don't know enough about.
That's like the $1 million question. I think it all comes down to, I love to look at UConn. They want to move UConn to the Big 12. I can't see UConn in any way, shape, or form moving away their basketball program out of the Big East until the Big East starts to lose their money.
Because that's going to happen soon.
It's eventually going to happen if football takes over. But then the Big 12, to me, is a basketball conference now that's parading football around. Now, they've got Arizona, they've got Kansas, they've got all these other. Houston's coming in Big 12, right? So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I knew. I know with Temple, we're done. We're gonna wallow in the shallow waters forever.
But that's fine if you do what my idea is.
I agree with that.
And Temple plays their secondly, like it's not like they're Division II, but technically they're second division of college football. You're going to win more games. You're not going to play Alabama. They don't play them anyways.
Right.
But you're going to play more on your level of competition. It'll be more entertaining that way, I'd assume.
So they're going to take whatever top 64. So you go 4 16-team super conferences.
Yeah, sure.
Which I think we're going to get down to 3 because I think ACC is going to get. They're going to try to get North Carolina and Virginia to Big 10. They're going to try to get Clemson and Florida State to the
Duke.
SEC.
What about Duke?
Duke's going to be left. Duke's going to be like Temple is. They're going to be out there. They're going to be.
But Duke is the #1 basketball program.
So
on
that's
the planet.
correct. But it's the #1 basketball program. But if it doesn't,
God.
I agree with you.
They could carry themselves with their basketball alone. I feel like.
I think that they could, but they're not going to be put into a football conference. Vanderbilt's going to be only drug into a football conference because they've been in the SEC forever. But
why doesn't Duke just go to the Big East then?
Well, they could, but they want to play football.
Why?
Because football makes them money.
Get them. Why can't they get in a football conference?
Because football makes them. Because they'd have to come with us, Temple and BC.
Why?
And
Why wouldn't the SEC or why wouldn't
nobody in the SEC take a Duke?
Why not?
Because Duke's not going to bring the eyeballs, bring in the money. All it is, I think it's money, and Duke is out. Duke, Wake Forest, maybe even Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech, they have a chance.
What's the difference between UNC football and Duke football?
UNC football and Duke football is UNC football has had success throughout the years. Duke has been a bottom feeder. I'm serious. You can look that up. We could argue that later. I think Duke, Wake Forest, BC, Pitt, Syracuse are in trouble. I think Florida State and Clemson go SEC. I think Virginia Tech or Virginia and then in North Carolina, they'll try to get in the Big Ten because of their academic issue. And then you got Virginia Tech, North Carolina State, Georgia Tech, and Miami who float out there. And Miami's really struggled with winning football-wise. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's interesting to watch it play out. I love going to college football games, especially when Temple's playing. We always suck, but for that 5-year period with Matt. But it's just a matter of, it is what it's going to be, and they're going to be a professional league. And you're right, Alabama with all the money, they should be able to dominate. Who's won the last 5-6 national championships? The same teams, right?
Well, yeah.
Yes, that's a problem, too, if you ask me. So that brings us to, it's actually good to look at LIV versus the PGA. We're going to switch to golf a little bit here because we talk a lot about this at home. And the final part of discussion is LIV versus the PGA Tour and the breakaway and either the quality or the quality of players. And, that's what we're seeing happening. There was a separation. So first of all, just real quick opinion on LIV and the players that went.
Most of the players that went made sense that went. I really don't care about LIV. I don't watch LIV. It's not really an entertaining product. I still enjoy the talent that's on the PGA Tour, and the PGA Tour, I feel like this year specifically has had very good Sunday endings to some of their. The Canadian Open was great. I'm trying to think of other ones. I think was Riviera. Did they have a good ending? I don't remember. They've had some good endings on the PGA Tour this year. So LIV can live, and I guess they're merging. I don't know what that means, and I'm fine with it. I guess I've accepted it.
So again, when we get down, we're going to draft players eventually. I'm going to draft the 7 wonders of golf. We do have, I would say there's probably a handful of LIV players who are worldwide brands in reality for golf. Bryson, Koepka, DJ, Cam Smith,
Phil,
the gambling Phil. So I think it caused some confusion in the game, but the Rory McIlroys of the world, and we'll go back to Tiger Woods of the world, they helped to at least they want to see their legacy continue on in this manner instead of in what I don't know. But I think the merger, you're going to see some team events eventually down the road. You're going to see that they won't go to the 54 holes. But I think that in the end, when they do ever get back together again, I think you'll get to some kind of agreement, and live will be the way they do their live tournaments will go away. So that's where I see it. So you see that, but again, would you if you had a televised playoff for 18 holes between DJ and Koepka and Cam Smith and Bryson DeChambeau, it's almost watch TV though, right?
Where do they broadcast it? YouTube?
No, they're broadcasted on the CW actually, which
What is that?
I think that's Channel 38 here in town.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's where I no, Channel 27 is where the Spanish channel where I get some Europa League games every once in a while.
Yeah.
No, I would no. I'm not gonna watch that. No, I don't care. I guess maybe because it's good. They're entertaining golfers, and I do find Bryson to be a very entertaining golfer. But nah, I just don't care. I don't know.
So what's the draw of
Who cares if you win a live event? To be honest,
I agree with it. What's the draw of televised golf? I mean, you play. You're young. You play. I love to sit down and watch.
That's actually a good question. I've never thought. I don't know. I enjoy golf. There are people though who aren't. The thing is though, everyone these days is a huge golfer. Everybody. That's the thing. I went to high school with. None of these kids played golf. They were football players and in the spring and soccer players and that. Everyone's favorite sport now is golf. Everyone they watch golf on TV. I don't know.
That's because
I guess you could instant gamble on it, but I don't think that's the reason.
You can instant gamble on baseball too, but you can't play baseball when you're 25 years old if you don't have the talent. I think with golf, you have the ability to continue to play and you will get better. Like take some of your friends and do a comparison.
Here's a good point. If I watch a baseball game and I see Aaron Judge hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball 450 feet, no matter how many times I go up to the plate, I'm never going to do that. If I'm watching a golf event, though, and I see forget Rory McIlroy, I see Jordan Spieth from 100 yards out stick a wedge to 5 feet.
And then miss the putt. Yeah.
I think, I could. You can go and repeat what you're seeing on TV. You actually can. You're not going to do it all the time, but you can hit. You can go and be, I can hit that shot. I can make that chip. You can do pretty cool things on the golf course.
The problem again with the difference between the pros are hit at 350 yards.
But that doesn't matter. I said if you're 100 yards away,
right?
You can do the same thing a pro can do if you practice enough.
So Spieth
not as consistent, but once every 10 times you could hit a great shot and be wow, I felt like a pro. That's happened to me.
So as a golfer who finally broke 80, who's really laying down, and your uncle's a pretty good golfer too. How do you score? How did you get to 77? How did you
You got to make putts and keep the ball in play. That's as simple as it is. Get up and down, make putts. I hit a lot of greens in the round I played. So I didn't get up and down that much. So honestly,
you two-putt a lot of greens.
Getting up and down a lot is how you would get from a 80 to a 70.
Right.
If you just keep the ball in play and you make some putts, you don't three-putt, and it's basically the tip for breaking 80 is no three-putts, no doubles. I had one double, made a couple birdies, no three putts, didn't hit the ball out of bounds once. That's how you score like that.
So I think that I have to say there are three types of golfers out there. There are the hugely serious ones who are trying to be lower their handicap, which I put you in that category, trying to play better. And then there are the ones who are good players, but if they muff a shot, they're not really going to keep score, and they're going to shoot between 90 and 110. Mm-hmm. And then there are the recreational golfers, which probably makes up half your league. And those guys are out there just having fun.
Yeah, drink some beers, hack the ball around,
right. And I think
have a nice day in the sun.
Right, the three different players. So I think it's important that, comparing yourself to Jordan Spieth from 100 in is perfect, but you can't compare yourself to Bryson DeChambeau from the tee. And I think that's where...
I get that.
That's where people... One of the things Jack Nicklaus used to talk about is shorten the course so the average player can score. If you take 100 yards off every hole, not the par threes, you would be able to get yourself off the tee into a spot where you could get up and down for a birdie.
Yeah,
correct.
I'd take 100 yards. I'd be sure. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm just saying that's or change the way they were or change how far the ball can fly. Give the amateurs an opportunity.
Okay, fine. We'll say it like this: 150 yards in, you obviously you had the ability to hit shots that pros hit.
Correct. Okay, good. We like that. So now going to the pros, we'll do the seven wonders. Last week we've seen enough podcasts. Jack's gonna pull up his computer, which means I gotta pull mine up because it's just gonna get to be a battle. Look, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think we can see it, but it doesn't matter whether we can see it or not. Because I'm gonna flip mine up, and there you can see.
Oh, I don't care if you can
Just
see it.
barely.
I was just trying to see what the time was.
So we've got
What is that? That was George Bush with the watch.
Yeah, that's it.
Looking at my watch,
What time? Yeah, we'll go. There's no time. It's 3:09. What do we got? Something going today? That we gotta pick the
don't
car.
we only have an hour?
I have whatever time we want. Nobody's here forcing us out. But no, we should try to keep it within 45 minutes an hour because people get bored with us after a while.
Yeah.
All right,
People.
so we're going to do the seven wonders. Last week.
I'm the one listening to this.
Last week, I bet you Kevin, Chris, and Justin will be listening.
Yeah, I'll
to
send it to him.
Shout out to and Tommy will eventually listen to
Kevin,
him.
by the way, because we said he was in Aruba. Speaking of the Premier League opening, I found this out in Switzerland. Peacock, you can only watch Peacock in the country, so he's freaking out. I have a streaming website I sent him that we illegally. They got indicted last year. They're back. But
I can't wait to get Kevin on there because Kevin's a great dude.
He was freaking out because he's in Aruba. He's like, Peacock doesn't work. Peacock's the NBC streaming service that they broadcast all the Premier League games on. But he's like, yeah, it doesn't work.
Tell Tom he should go to Europe.
And I found that out in Switzerland that
we couldn't stream.
That I pulled up Peacock and it was like, you have to be in America to watch this.
All
right.
Was that the game we were right
That
on
was
the
Liverpool.
mountain in Liverpool game?
Yep.
Yeah. Where you stayed out and we were, yeah. I think
A very good night.
I think I was sick that night.
It's like
I think
the only time
I think I had some kind of illness.
Our aggregate score against Liverpool in like the last 8 games was probably like 30-5. That
the
might
negative?
be that. Yeah, 30 goals for them, 5 goals for us, and we won that game, so it was very nice.
Okay, so back to the seven wonders. We did the college football
Do you have a
stamps.
coin?
Yeah, I gotta have you guess when's your birthday. I'm kidding.
What?
We'll figure it out. We'll have to figure out a way to do this. I'll let you have first pick.
No,
'cause
I can just do a thing.
he's gonna.
flip
So we're
coin.
fighting over who picks first. So we're gonna pick seven
'cause
current golfers.
The thing is, I
today.
think we both have different first picks,
Yes,
so
definitely.
it really doesn't matter who picks first.
I think we
All
do
right, heads
first
or
and
tails?
second picks. I'll do a heads. Heads I win, tails you lose. So Jack is flipping
It's
a coin on
tails.
the computer. So Jack is going to get first pick. Are you writing these down or do I have to?
You are.
'Cause I got to do all the work around here. Stinks
All
to
right,
be
so
me.
yeah,
So
the-
first pick. So
The
we're doing
seven wonders of the modern golf world. Next week we can do the 7 wonders of the ancient golf world,
which is
would
my
be-
golf world, isn't it?
which would just be everybody.
Oh, real quickly before we shoot to there is
Tiger.
Tiger be a number one on. You can have Tiger. I'll take Jack. It all depends who gets number one pick.
Harry Vardon.
How about old Tom Morris?
Yeah, but see, I think we both would pick Tiger number 1. Here, I think we'd pick 2 different people.
Correct.
So number 1, I have the number 1
a real
pick.
quick question. We talked about this home. The way we watch golf is so different now and then. I mean, I was telling you that I can remember back when I was younger, they used to come on in the 16th hole for a tournament. Even the Masters didn't go live or 18 holes till like 2002, and a lot to do with Tiger. But just the way that we watch golf now is I could see every shot, like you were mentioning. You could find anything.
Yeah, we're very blessed this generation. I was like making the point. I can just, if someone hits a golf shot, I could see it within 2 minutes if I go on Twitter. It was like when you used to listen because you lived in Pennsylvania growing up in the 70s. You
Right.
listened to Red Sox games on the radio, and who was the announcer? Ned Martin.
Ned Martin and
so
Jim Woods.
Ned Martin. Jim Carter Yastrzemski hits a home run. You never saw that home run.
No, I only
Carter
heard
Yastrzemski-
one.
If that happens today, somebody hits a home run, I'm on Twitter within a minute.
That's
I'm
correct.
watching the home run.
That's correct. And they can see every shot of every game. And people, I can remember, we used to play golf at Pleasant Hill, which they tore down back home. And we would come to the 16th hole, and you all pretend now you're coming into the TV cameras. That's just the way they did it. I mean, 16, 17, 18, you never saw the front 9 of Augusta until I think in the mid 90s, 95. One of the directors made a mistake because they had spots for the highlights, but they never want CBS to show it. So just the way the game is different. And now, because we've seen all
Front
these
nine's
guys
kind of boring,
play.
anyways.
Oh yeah, everything's like life's boring the way I used to watch it.
Augusta, the front 9 at Augusta is not the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, there's some goals. 8's a great hole.
Like 4 and 6, or there's 2 stupid par 3s, but like the hit it up, you hit
Yeah.
the driver off them.
We're going to have to do the 7 wonders of the places we want to go. That'll be some point in time. All right, so
We
Jack's
did
got
that college football stadiums.
Jack's got first pick. Go.
Actually, the first pick is good because it's in a snake draft. So
You wanna do snake or
think-
not?
No, because I think we have a clear top 3. So you'd want the second pick if we weren't doing a snake
Okay,
draft.
so you're going to take the first pick, and I'm
So
going
I'll
to
take
say
Scheffler. I think just right now Scheffler. If you look at his numbers, like his strokes gained numbers off the everywhere besides off the green, they're horrible off the green. He's one of the worst on the tour. But the ball striking year he's having right now, and it's one of the best on tour history. He finishes top 10, top 7 really every event.
Yeah.
And, you can almost always count to be there on a Sunday.
And he is number 1 in the world, but I don't know if I would take him number 1. My problem with the next pick is it'd be great to have more than 2 people because you're going to get who I don't get.
Yeah.
My biggest issue with the next pick is that my preference would be the other guy, but I'm going to take John Rahm. I like to watch Rory play, but I got to go Rahm only because I think Rahm is that just he's younger, he's better, he's bigger, he's stronger.
I agree. I think Rahm's a more complete player than McIlroy. He's got everything. He can do everything. I think McIlroy still struggles inside of 100 yards.
See, and then now you're going to get a pick. You're going to
all right. So now this is where it gets tough. You have so many guys to pick from. You can pick from a guy like.
No, it doesn't get tough.
It does get tough. There's a guy 4th in the world right now. Cantley. I'm not going to take him. A lot of people like Hovland right now, but I think the fourth best golfer in the world right now.
You have the 3rd pick.
What are you talking about?
Are we
yeah.
snake drafting
No,
or what?
I messed
What
up.
are you?
No, I messed up.
Drinking over there?
Okay, I'll take McIlroy. You can have the tough pick. I still
Jack
think
he gives me the tough pick, and he takes Rory. I knew you'd take Rory there.
Obviously.
I would have taken Rory no matter what there, too.
I still think I'm going to get the guy that I want for.
Yeah, well, because I don't like him.
Yeah.
That's why. So I might take him just to piss you off.
All right, go for it.
I'm actually going to go with I hate this pick. I'm going to take Koepka because I hate him.
You're going to go Koepka?
Yeah. And what are you about? And it's hard for me to pick him because I don't like him, but he's got all the ability in the world. And like I said, there are three or four live golfers who are above and beyond everyone. He's definitely the top live golfer out there. So I'll take him. And now it's really a crapshoot. And any one of the next players is just. You can't go wrong. Even I'm going to look up into the top 20.
Yeah, this actually is harder than I thought when you get to these picks because it's like they're all the same.
Yeah.
5 through 20, it's all like is there really that much of a difference? I agree that Koepka would take him. He's won a couple of times on Live. He won he win the PGA?
Yeah. So
he won the PGA. He had a great 3 days at Augusta until he fell on his face on Sunday. But yeah, he's definitely 4. And you know what? I'm going to go with the safe pick here. I'm picking here between Hovland, I think, and one other guy. I'll go Hovland.
So you're going to take Victor Hovland?
Yep. With the outfits and all the stuff.
See, I love Victor Hovland, too.
Everyone loves Victor Hovland. I'm not a huge
And he hasn't really won much yet either.
He's good.
I'm going to go with the guy who should be wearing number 2 on the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's who, yeah.
I'm going to take Xander next, Schauffele. Again, he's a consistent player. And I know this guy's not in the top. I don't know if he's in the top 20. Let me look. He's 23rd in rank. He's
who?
Colin Morikawa. He's better than Morikawa, but Morikawa's got the 2 majors. But right now, I got to take.
Yeah, but say we're building a team to play in a Ryder Cup style match. My 7 versus your 7.
Right.
This is what
I take
now.
Right.
I don't care about. I'll pick Tiger Woods. He has 15 majors. No, I'm picking guys right now.
Well, I'll take Tiger Woods as my wild card. Then okay, so you got the 4th pick, and we got players all over the place.
Again, since nobody listens, nobody likes this guy, but he's you know what? I don't think he's had that good of a season, even though he is ranked 4th in the world. So I don't know if I want to pick him. I'll take Cantley.
I knew you'd take Cantley. That's not bad. I mean, Cantley's. I
don't think he's had a great season. I don't know. He's been really the slow play this year. Everyone's been dragging on him.
Yeah, Cantley's a pretty consistent player, though.
He was player of the year, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Live here, and I'm gonna take Cam Smith again.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about him.
As much as I don't like Live, I gotta take the players.
All right.
So we've got right now, just to wrap up 4. We got Scheffler, Rory, Hovland, and Cantley for Jack. We got Rahm, Koepka, Schauffele, and Smith for me. So we're going to get to now we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. Now it might be people you think can win.
I don't care about Brian Harman and Wyndham Clark. I'm going to go with a pick. This is overdrafting here. Playing really good golf right now. You wouldn't pick. I could get him with my last pick. I'm going to take Ricky Fowler. I think Ricky Fowler.
Boy, Justin's going to love that.
Justin's going to love that
Justin's
pick. I picked Ricky Fowler over some people there. So
I'm surprised. He is playing well, but what's your why?
Form.
Why Ricky?
In form. He ended 2022 ranked. Let's see. He ended 2022 ranked as the 103rd best golfer in the world. He right now is 25th. Or 26th.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's a pretty high. That's a pretty big jump.
That's true. Coming up.
There's another guy with a massive jump on here that's kind of a blast from the past. Former number 1.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick to my guns and go with the guy that nobody knows, but is probably the best social media guy that's out there is Max Homa. Oh, I like Homa. Homa's game's a little bit weird though.
The Homa thing is he wins. He doesn't perform at the majors, but he wins.
But that takes time. Who's won a major?
I know. But who's
a lot of guys?
Who's won in a major though? You look at the top 10. Maybe they haven't won, but they performed.
Okay,
He's never
let's
been
look
in
at
on a Sunday.
We'll take a break because we've done 5. Scheffler, yes. McElroy, yes. Rahm, yes. Cantley, no.
Yeah, but Cantley on Sunday wasn't it Cantley versus Scheffler? Was Cantley involved in one of the Bryson one?
I don't remember, but Cantley, no. Hovland, no.
I think Cantley has been involved on a Sunday.
If I look at this, Cantley, no. Hovland, no. Scheffler, no.
Schauffele's finished second a million times though.
Homa,
so he's been
no.
involved on a Sunday.
Homa, no. Then Cam Smith, Brian Harman, Matt Fitzpatrick, Wyndham Clark, Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka. I mean, now you're starting to run into your players. But again, that's as of right now.
I think Hovland and Cantley, if you look at their top finishes in a major, are higher than Homa's. That's all.
That makes sense.
All right, so what, you picked how many players?
All right, we're at 5. I have Homa, Smith, Xander Schauffele, Koepka, and Rahm. You have Scheffler, Rory, Hovland, Cantley, and Fowler. So guess what? I'll get 2 more to go. So you get 6 and 7.
I can't let my guy go.
Yeah,
my favorite golfer.
I mean, guess.
The most frustrating golfer in the world, Jordan Spieth. He's just, I don't know. He can't put it all together.
So that means you're going to give me you're going to let me take your good
Great
friend
wedge
there.
player though.
Yeah, nothing. Justin Thomas, I said. That's it.
You take Justin Thomas right now?
No, I'm kidding.
Boy.
I'm kidding. You know, it's hard now. I think that for me, as I look at the list, it's just tough. I'm gonna go with my third live guy. I'm gonna take DJ right here.
Oh yes.
Because DJ, he's not ranked, but we talked about the 4 guys who went to live.
You with all your live, yeah.
Yeah.
So was that your 6th pick?
That is my 6th. So we got 1 more pick to go here.
Let's just finish this because I need a live guy on my team. And again, I said he was entertaining earlier. Frustrated guy. Just shot a 58. I'm taking Bryson.
Yeah, I figured. You take the guys you like. I
want Bryson on the Ryder Cup team just for the entertainment value of it. I'll take him over Justin Thomas, or who would the other pick there be?
Well, there's the Harmon's going to make it.
Well, obviously.
What like over Cam Young?
It would be Cam Young. It would be Cam Young.
Keegan Bradley's played really well this year. Wyndham Clark's won a championship. Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm going to go.
We'll see. It doesn't seem like Zach Johnson is too open to the idea of those guys.
He's not. I'm going to stick. I'm going to go with Tony Finau here with my last pick, just because I like Tony, and Tony brings a different look to the course for us.
So yeah, we didn't pick the major win, the Harman, Fitzpatrick, Clark. We didn't pick any of them.
Harman, Fitzpatrick, Clark, Keegan
Patton's
Bradley.
Another one.
Keegan Bradley's had a really good year. I'm looking here. Tom Kim, who hasn't won, but
Jason Day's had a good year.
Yeah, Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa. There's players.
We didn't pick Morikawa. It just shows how many good players are on the tour.
So let's go.
Now.
I'm just
you can go 30 deep.
Just for the fun. Let's go to 40 to 50. Here's your choices. So you can take JT Poston, Billy Horschel, Tom Hoagie,
Joaquin Niemann's
Ryan
good.
Fox, Chris Kirk, Nick Taylor, Joaquin Niemann, Liv, Minwoo Lee, Adam Schenk. Great name.
Niemann's the best player there.
Schenk, Cam Davis, and Adrian Meronk. You think he's the best player there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ranked 22 in the world before he went to live.
That's true. He's a choke artist, though.
Billy Horschel, though, he's another one pretty good. He just randomly won the tour championship that one year.
Okay, and then we did this at home the other day. Let's go 80 to 90. Tell me how many of these guys you know. Mackenzie Hughes.
Heard of him.
Why?
Because he was part of that Canadian crew when was it Adam? No, I don't know if it was Adam
Taylor.
Zach
Taylor.
Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor's. I think he's the coach of the Bengals.
Isn't Zach Taylor also the president? Zachary Taylor.
Tyler.
No, John Tyler. Zachary Taylor.
You're right. It is Zachary Taylor. No, it's not John Tyler.
Tippecanoe and Tyler too. Wasn't
I don't
it
know what his first name is.
Mr. gets a big pass
so Mackenzie Hughes,
history.
I know from that Canadian Open crew when Adam Hadwin got tackled on the green.
So you have I've lost my train of thought here. Oh, there's Phil. 80 to 90, right?
Yeah, whatever. We don't.
Okay, so you got Mackenzie Hughes, Thomas Peters, who I know he's from foreign country there. Austin Eckroat, never heard of him. J.J. Spawn, heard of him. Jordan Smith, Brandon Wu, Mark Hubbard, Davis Riley, Scott Stallings, Hayden Buckley, and Dustin Johnson. That's the only one you would know. So again, it's tough. As you get deeper, Jack, you're really going to run into issues with who you would pick.
The thing is deeper. What, we're going to pick 40 golfers each? I think the top 30 there's a lot of strong names in the top 30 in golf right now. And then you add the live guys who are way out of it, like Taylor Gooch and those guys. They're pretty good.
As
golfers.
we get ready to move to Ryder Cup, though, I don't know if all these guys will make a Ryder Cup team.
On that list?
On our list.
Well, Bryson might not. Bryson or DJ are up for one spot.
And
everybody else is going to make it.
Is Finau going to make it?
I don't know. I think
he might.
Yeah, I think.
It's just neat to watch because I think that Scheffler is in, Rahm and Rory are in, Koepka should be in, Schauffele, Hovland, Cantley, Smith will be an interesting one because he can't play the Ryder Cup, so he's out.
Well, we missed like Europeans like Hatton and Fleetwood and those guys.
Yeah, so that's where we are. So final segment that we're going to do here is we're going to let Jack take the hosting job. I'll let him. He can host the next team. We'll let Jack take host. You could do the AMA. We'll call it, as they say. Is that a Reddit thing? AMA. Ask me anything.
I didn't even know what it meant. I was not told this was happening, so I'm trying to say I was told.
You saw the sheet before we did it.
Yeah,
though. Now, come on.
What, 5 minutes before we started?
Yeah, ask me anything. You came up with great stuff last time. So
that was just because of our conversation.
Couple of minutes. If you could talk about it, we could do it what we did in our conversation. I don't mind. Go.
In honor of the Premier League.
Oh, jeez.
And Liverpool doing nothing in the transfer market. What's your thoughts on Fenway Sports Group?
That's a good question. That's a great question because we talk about. First of all, I don't think they're liked over there, Liverpool. I'll be in Liverpool in September for a day, so I'll ask around. Say they'll probably not like me too much. But
you wear your Red Sox hat.
No, I'm not doing that. I'll wear my Temple stuff or my Wilmington stuff. I think that they're. I feel like they've gotten complacent, especially here with the Sox. I think they're looking to expand their portfolio, like picking up the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know they want to go in with LeBron on a team in Vegas. So sometimes I wonder whether we'd be better served with a Cohen or like the guy down in San Diego who's focused solely on baseball and making money. Making the baseball team better. I'm disappointed in them. I can't be too pissed off at them because they've actually brought me 4 world championships in the second half of my life. So
Save the ballpark.
Save the ballpark, which still is a dump, but that's beside the point. Easy to get in and out of, no problem with that. But are they spread too thin? No, but does that mean John Henry doesn't give a shit about the Red Sox? Probably. He gives enough, but he's given the control to Chaim Bloom, and maybe it's the wrong control. And again, it's just like when you hire a college basketball coach or college football coach that doesn't work out. You set your program back, and I think that's what I feel. I don't have the animosity I think that the people in Liverpool do, but didn't they win?
I think Red Sox fans are more mad than Liverpool. Yeah, the thing with Liverpool is they've won, but then again, the Red Sox have won recently too. But Liverpool has won with this team recently, but they've totally not demolished the team, but didn't replenish the team, and it's hurt them. And they're not winning anymore with that. They have an all-time great manager there right now, and they're not winning anything with him in the near future because just the money they spent in the transfer market. I think they at this point with everything, I think they take the fans for granted, and they know it doesn't matter just let's win 85 games and we're going to sell out all summer long.
So that's both sides of the fence, both places, both here and both sides of the
Liverpool will be in 10th place. They'll still sell at Anfield.
And here watching that game last night, it was probably 32,000 people for a horrible Kansas City team.
They sell out everything.
And again,
the ballpark's back.
But with the Fenway
highest
Sports
ticket prices too.
Yeah, and they've done great stuff here, and they've expanded their portfolio, and I'm sure they've expanded their wallets. And I think the next move is the LeBron James, Las Vegas, whatever they're going to be called. That's what they're looking at next. That'll put them in every sport except for football, and I'm surprised they really haven't gone after a football team, American football team. So
it's expensive.
It is, especially like $6 billion for Washington.
$6 billion for the worst organization there is.
Yeah. So I think that's a good question. Fenway Sports Group actually decided to really piss me off. So, but it's life. We did win 4 championships, so you have to have a trade-off.
I'd like to win more.
Actually, what pisses me off even more is the the AD at the previous AD at Temple, who left us with a crappy coach and took what Matt Rule had built way up here. We could have been going to a power conference.
Kraft?
Yeah, Pat Kraft.
Is he still at BC?
No, he's at Penn State now.
Oh, nice.
Penn State. He can destroy Penn State.
Yeah.
You know what? All of a sudden I just drew a brain fart on who that coach was. What was the? You remember?
Ed Carey.
No.
Jeff Collins.
No, Carey.
What do you mean
Rod.
no?
Rod Carey.
Oh, yeah. Why did I
Jeff
say Ed
Collins,
Carey?
Rod Carey, and then we had Diaz too. So
Who's Ed Carey?
Ed Carey. I don't know who Ed Carey is. So again, it's been a good couple of minutes here. Episode 1, season 1 of It All Boils Down to This. Jack's got great ideas. We're gonna let him put the show together next time. Maybe I'll let him sit in the director's chair and lead it. And like I said, it'll be great to get Justin and Chris and Kevin and a few other, maybe Riley come in. Some of the guys we know that I've coached baseball, and Jack graduated and went to school with them. So Jack, for my good friend and so Jack Boyle, this is Jim Boyle for It's All Boils Down to This. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on down the road. Thanks for listening to this episode of It All Boils Down to This, recorded at WCTV studios in our hometown of Wilmington, Massachusetts. We are always open to any ideas, critiques, topics, and guests. So if anyone out there in podcast world needs to get a hold of us, we can be reached via email at jboyle22@comcast.net. Along with Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. Make sure to tune in to the next edition of It All Boils Down to This.